Take a look around on most any New York City street. That tree over there, that vine climbing the fence, the ground cover under your feet, and yes, that bug currently doing push-ups on the tree trunk. None of it is supposed to be here. And here's the twist. Except for the lanternflies, almost none of it snuck in. We brought it on purpose, with good intentions. Quick clarification before we start pointing fingers. Non-native and invasive are not the same thing. Plenty of non-native plants just mind their business. Invasive means a species causes real ecological or economic harm once it's here. And what's wild about New York City's most notorious invaders is that almost every single one arrived as someone's genuinely good idea. Let's meet the rogues gallery. First up, that tree covered in white blossoms every spring that also smells vaguely like garbage. Callery Pear was brought over from China in the early 1900s for one specific job: breeding fire blight resistance into America's fruit pear industry, which was getting wrecked by the disease. Somewhere along the way, someone noticed the tree itself was gorgeous, and the Bradford cultivar was born. Symmetrical, covered in flowers, and, this is the most important part, bred to be sterile. Can't self-pollinate, so no fruit, no spread. Problem solved, right? Except, Bradford's growth habit turned out to be structurally terrible, splitting apart in storms. So nurseries developed new cultivars for that. Those new cultivars could cross-pollinate with Bradford and with each other. Suddenly, sterile tree neighborhoods were producing fruit for the first time. Birds ate it, spread the seeds everywhere, and wild Callery Pear, thorny, aggressive, nothing like the pretty ornamental, started taking over roadsides and fields. The fix for the problem became the problem. Next, Japanese knotweed, which showed up in the 1800s for the most Victorian reason imaginable. It looked nice and made good privacy hedging. That's it. That's the whole justification. What nobody knew at the time is that knotweed grows through pavement, through foundations, up to 10 feet in a single growing season. And the only way to actually kill it is to remove every last fragment of its root system, because a piece the size of your thumbnail can regrow an entire plant. Ask me how I know. Okay, I'll tell you. Because the garden in our old place was completely covered in it when we first moved in, and yes, it was even busting up the patio. Then there's Porcelain Berry, and honestly, I get why someone imported this one from Japan and northern China in the 1870s. Because the berries look like tiny porcelain beads, blue, purple, lilac, turquoise, all on the same vine. It was sold as an ornamental ground cover and climbing vine. It's now a prohibited species in New York, illegal to sell here, and it's still everywhere, including my plot at the lentil garden, because prohibition doesn't retroactively remove 25-foot vines already established in the wild. It smothers shrubs, chokes out mature trees, and outcompetes native grape and vine species it resembles closely enough to hide in plain sight. Which brings us to the one guest on this list nobody actually invited, the spotted lanternfly. Unlike the other three, this one wasn't a deliberate introduction. It hitchhiked over from Asia, most likely in cargo, and was first confirmed in Pennsylvania in 2014. By 2019 and 2020, it had made its way to Staten Island and spread across the city. And here's a fun but also infuriating crossover moment. Lanternflies prefer feeding on tree of heaven, Ailanthus, itself an invasive species, but they'll also happily feed on porcelain berry. So we've essentially built these things a 5-star buffet out of our own past mistakes. Notice the thread running through all 4 of these? Fast growth, few natural predators here, prolific reproduction, tolerant of rough conditions, every single trait that made these species attractive imports is the exact same trait that makes them impossible to control once they're loose. The qualities that make something a great house guest and a terrible neighbor are basically identical. And this isn't abstract. Walk through Forest Park or along the edges of Jamaica Bay or down most any city street, and you'll see these species actively crowding out the native plants that local birds, pollinators, and other wildlife actually depend on. Less plant diversity means less food and habitat up the entire chain. It's a quiet kind of damage, but it adds up fast. So what can you actually do? Don't plant Callery Pear, Knotweed, or Porcelain Berry. There are native alternatives for all of them. If you see a spotted lanternfly, most local agencies still want you to report it, even squish it. Personally, I want you to stomp the out of them. And if you want more How Did This Get Here plant history deep dives, subscribe. I've got a whole list of them to share. See you next time, and thanks for watching.
If your plants look sad and you've lost all hope, tried everything, you're at the end of your rope, should you throw them out into the street? Nope, just ask Planty Jen. If you wanna be a Planty acolyte, learn the tips and tricks to keep them growing right. Water, fertilizer, and the right amount of light, just ask Planty Jen.